So this song was actually written the same day I wrote Liar, and I felt like writing. I was in a place where I didn't want to admit that I had feelings for this guy, but I did for a really long time. And every time I would see him, I would be like, no, I don't like him. And then I would see him, and then I would just kind of be like all confused and shaken up. And so this was kind of when I really decided to admit to myself, okay, I like you. Like let's do this for real. I'm gonna stop, being scared of it. And so I remember in the studio, I wanted to write just kind of like a desire song about it, because that's how I felt about this guy. And so Andrew Watt, who I was in the studio with, started playing this guitar riff, and I sang the melody for it, and I left because I had to go to rehearsal. And then the next day we were like, oh, this is really cool, and we put lyrics to the melody, and that's how Shameless happened. And it's really just about just kind of loving with your heart open and not being afraid of it. Was in the group of the last three songs that I wrote for the album. There was Liar, there was Shameless, and there was Used to This. And Liar is about the same. It was just me making fun of myself for pretending like I didn't care that this guy that I was low-key, deep down, I wasn't obsessed with him at the time, but I was definitely shook by him. And I didn't want to be, but I was. And so I remember walking into the studio, and I was like, "Ugh, I really don't want to like him, but I do, and I want to kiss him so bad, and I wish I didn't, but I do." And so that's what Liar is about. And basically, Liar was cool because the whole art for Liar, which is me with the kind of the art for Liar, which is me with the angel wings, kicked off the visuals for my album Romance. And I had, when I started writing this album, I wanted it to be just as much of a sonic experience as a visual experience. And I've always been obsessed with surrealism and fiction and anything ethereal or anything where you're kind of transported into not reality. And so the whole idea behind Romance, which you'll see on tour, is that you're kind of escaping into heaven, into this museum of loves and a museum of love stories. And so everything has that kind of like ethereal, like Renaissance, like angel feel. And with Liar, for the single art, it was like I was this angel in heaven, but Cupid kind of shot me with this bow, and I suddenly was not so angelic anymore because I had a secret, or I had something. Should have said it. I think I wrote the first week that I was writing the album, and so there's basically you'll see that there's two kind of storylines in the album, which were happening in my life. And basically, somebody that I knew for a really long time, I had liked him, but he wasn't ready, and so then he liked me, but I was not really there to like him in that way anymore because I'd moved on. And I was just kind of angry about it because I was like, ugh, now you're saying that you're in love with me, like you waited so long and now it's too late. And so Should Have Said It is about that. And it's just kind of, I was just angry because I was like, ugh, why did you wait so long to tell me? You should have said it. And that's what Should Have Said It is about. Feel It Twice I wrote the same week I wrote Should Have Said It, which makes sense because they're about the same thing and the same person. And, it was just about, I just felt bad that this person had been my friend for a really long time, and we were really, really close. And when he confessed that he had feelings for me, things kind of got awkward because we weren't together. And so I felt like I was hurting him, and I felt weird because we felt like we were kind of drifting away as friends. And everybody kind of knows what that's like when you have somebody that you're really close with, and I don't know, they say they have feelings for you, and it feels tense. The friendship feels tense suddenly, and I felt really bad about hurting him, about hurting somebody that was my friend and was a big part of my life, and suddenly they weren't as much anymore. And it was one of the easiest songs to write. I remember the chorus idea came to me pretty fast, and Oh my God, you've unlocked Used to This. Used to This is the last song that I wrote for the album, and it's basically, I wrote down this lyric on my phone that was, I wrote down a bunch of lyrics on my phone that I used for this song, but the main one was that I kind of wrote the song about was, it's going to take me a minute, but I could get used to this. And it's basically, I wrote it about someone that I had been friends with for a really, really long time. And then we started dating, and I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe I get to like kiss you in the middle of talking now. That's so weird. Or like get to like hold your hand, or it's weird that we're going to like call each other baby at some point. Like, that's really weird because I've only called you by your name for like years. And so it's basically about just kind of first, like what it felt like first falling in love, and specifically, you know, going to see him for a weekend in San Francisco and like what that was like. And I feel like this song was really special because I didn't feel like I was going into the studio to write a song for my album. It felt like I was just like painting a picture of that weekend and of that feeling and of what it felt like. And I feel like I'll like look back on that song when I'm older and be like, oh, I remember exactly what that was like. And it was really cool because Phineas, who I worked with on this song, he chose all the sounds in the track for a reason, and he wrote me a long explanation of why. Like in the beginning, you hear like noises that you would hear like in San Francisco on the street. I think it's a trolley or something. There's like a line about tequila shots, and you hear tequila glasses clinking. There's a line about this person has like calluses on their finger from playing guitar, and so he has like the sound of an electric guitar on there. And so it's really beautiful in the fact that, you know, I put so much detail in it, so it really means a lot to me.